Living in her car, winning 2 Oscars before 30, and inspiring a passionate debate on a beloved sitcom. Who else could it be but Hilary Swank? Stay tuned to see the transformation of Hilary Swank from childhood to 47. At 15, Hilary Swank moved to Hollywood with her mom to pursue her acting dreams. According to The Guardian, they had little in their savings when they arrived and had to live out of a car for a period of time.
When you were 15, you came to Hollywood, spent a couple nights in your car with your mom to make your dream happen, and it's happening right now. Can you believe it?
No, I can't.
As Swank told The Guardian, "My mom really believed in me, and her belief made me believe in myself." The young star-in-waiting had enrolled at South Pasadena High School, where, according to the Times leader, she struggled with feeling unseen and misunderstood, and even felt like the teachers didn't want her there. According to The Guardian, Swank eventually dropped out, but not before a teacher attempted to crush her dreams by asking her, "When are you going to give up your hobby?" However, the teenager refused to shelve her ambitions, and with the loving support of her mom, she started landing jobs. As she told the Los Angeles Times back in 1999, "My mom called an agency and said, 'My daughter is an actress and she's beautiful and you should see her.' And they did. I read a McDonald's commercial. They signed me and I was with them for 5 years." She subsequently landed herself some great early roles, making appearances in an episode of the TV version of Harry and the Hendersons, as well as a few episodes of the sitcom Growing Pains. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Personally and professionally, some huge turning points in Hilary Swank's transformation arrived around her 18th birthday. Swank told People magazine that she met her future husband, Chad Lowe, at a party in 1992, calling it love at first sight. As their romance blossomed, Swank's career also started to heat up when she landed roles in the ensemble teen show Camp Wilder, alongside rising stars like Jared Leto and Jerry O'Connell, as well as the cult comedy flick Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Recalling the stressful experience of filming the 2 projects simultaneously, Swank explained to Collider that filming Camp Wilder during the day and Buffy at night was, in her words, fun, but also not. Speaking with Yahoo Entertainment, she elaborated that, regardless, she was having fun with life and enjoying her new career. But there was a lot of pressure to live up to the reality of her dream. She said, "I was completely nervous because I didn't want to mess up. Buffy was something of a critical and commercial disaster upon release, but it's since garnered a significant cult fan base." Swank's acerbic depiction of a salty valley girl remains a standout of the hip 90s ensemble.
Oh, please. When she ran out into the court in the middle of the game, was it the most out of it thing ever, or did I blink?
Having found success in supporting roles, Hilary Swank left behind her teen years with her first lead as resilient martial arts outsider and double denim enthusiast Julie Pierce in 1994's The Next Karate Kid. The character would be the first to push Swank into her career comfort zone. As she once told The Guardian, "I love people who persevere through adversity." By all accounts, her most successful characters reflect that, Julie included. The character had to push through personal trauma and the feeling of being a misfit within her community to become a karate champion. Like many of her roles to come, Swank prepared rigorously for the physicality of the part. According to MovieWeb, the actor practiced Tang Soo Do, doing between 2 and 5 hours of training each day during pre-production. Swank told the Chicago Tribune around this time, "I woke up bruised and sore all the time, but I want to keep training because I feel really confident now." Apparently, the folks behind Beverly Hills 90210 didn't get the memo that Swank was now a legit karate heavyweight and probably not to be trifled with. According to Stuff, after being cast as a single mom for the 8th season of the teen soap, she was unceremoniously cut from the cast after fans wrote in to complain about her character. As she told the Sydney Morning Herald in 2007, "I was devastated. I thought, if I'm not good enough for 90210, I'm not good enough for anything."
Yeah. I'm thinking no one watches the show anymore, and I got fired off of the show that no one watches.
Like the characters she loves so much, Hilary Swank pushed through adversity and came out the other side better for it. As described by the Sydney Morning Herald, losing her Beverly Hills 90210 gig may have crushed her, but it also led to the star being cast in Kimberly Pierce's 1999 indie hit Boys Don't Cry, depicting the true story of Brandon Tina, a transgender man who was killed because of his identity. Swank immersed herself in the character. To fully understand and deliver upon her performance, she lived while presenting as a man for 5 weeks. In doing so, she found that people treated her much differently, and not for the better, telling the Los Angeles Times, "I didn't realize what it was like to be out in the world as someone that people can't define. That's a really lonely place." In 2000, her performance earned her the Best Actress award at the Oscars, where she used her acceptance speech to say, "I pray for the day when we not only accept our differences, but celebrate our diversity." According to the Sydney Morning Herald, following her first Oscar win, Hilary Swank felt pressure to live up to the promise of the accolade and wondered about the next step in her career. The answer, it seems, was to experiment. She raised eyebrows by starring in the schlocky disaster flick The Core, but she also chose interesting work with respected filmmakers like Chris Nolan for Insomnia, as well as Sam Raimi for The Gift. As noted by Marie Claire, it was around this time that a pattern emerged in the sorts of gritty roles that Swank was choosing. She seemed to be making a career of playing characters who wind up getting bloody lips. On top of portraying a wife dealing with abuse in The Gift, Swank also starred as a by-the-books detective in Insomnia, where she rocks the lip injury for a number of scenes. It's an oddly specific way to be typecast, but it complemented Swank's desire to change how women are seen, to provide tough alternatives to the norm. The actor told Emmanuel Levy she's always been driven to be taken seriously and seen as more than just her gender. Instead of playing more simple traditional female roles, Swank said she's long been attracted to roles that show there's strength in being physically strong or living your life the way you want. She explored these facets not only in her performances, but also on the red carpet, where she proudly flexed the complexity of her gender and looks both gloriously girly and tough and dynamic. Hilary Swank entered her 30s with prosperity, namely her second Oscar win, earned for her performance in Clint Eastwood's boxing tragedy Million Dollar Baby.
Thought you might be interested in training me.
I don't train girls.
Maybe you should. People see me fight, say I'm pretty tough.
Like several of her acting gigs before, Swank's approach to the character required her to get deep into the role. Swank talked with PopEntertainment.com about her approach for the role, detailing how she fully immersed herself into the world of boxing while preparing and filming the Academy Award hit. Bulking up for the film, she ended up gaining 19 pounds of muscle despite only being asked to gain about 10, and endured a rigorous training schedule requiring her to work out about 4 hours per day, 6 days a week. It made her performance more believable, but it also drew on her physical strength as a performer. And as Boys Don't Cry director Kimberly Pierce described to Entertainment Weekly, Swank's ability to immerse herself into a role to transform into a new character. For the 2005 Oscars ceremony, Swank continued her determination to showcase alternative celebrations of womanhood, with a jaw-dropping dress featuring a dramatic reverse V-neck that showcased her muscular back. The dress was celebrated by publications like Vogue and Variety as one of the best ever worn on the Academy Awards red carpet for years to come. Despite her professional achievements, Hilary Swank was sadly dealing with personal troubles behind the scenes. A year after her second Oscar win, it was announced that she and husband Chad Lowe were getting a divorce after 8 years of marriage, following a trial separation earlier that year. Some outlets, such as The Hollywood Reporter, suggested that the divorce may have been expected given that Swank forgot to thank Lowe in the acceptance speech for her first Academy Award. However, the truth was obviously a great deal more complicated than just a fumbled speech. A Times Leader interview with Swank suggested the star's success had overshadowed Lowe's, with her saying, "I just think it's rare to find that person who isn't threatened by your good fortune." Meanwhile, in an interview with Vanity Fair, Swank revealed that Lowe had been experiencing substance abuse issues, which had caused what the outlet described as an erosion of trust between the two. Speaking to Larry King in 2007, Lowe countered his ex-wife's remarks by expressing his belief that she didn't need to publicly share his struggle with addiction. According to CNN, he likewise suggested he never felt overshadowed or burdened by her success, and was proud of her accomplishments, even when she forgot about him in her acceptance speech. Ever the optimist, Hilary Swank reflected to InStyle that despite how it ended, she saw her relationship with Chad Lowe as an overall success, She likewise approached her career with a similar bright slice of optimism and explained to female.com.au in 2006 that she never acted snobbish about the work she took on, nor did she dwell on any perceived failures. Instead, the star approached everything in her life, even the bad stuff, as a chance to learn. Unfortunately for Swank, the rest of her 30s were likely a huge opportunity to learn, as she enjoyed a greatly uneven career. While films like the tearjerker P.S. I Love You and supernatural thriller The Reaping were more obvious in their potential dud nature, even higher-end movies like Brian De Palma's The Black Dahlia and the tragic Amelia were mostly met with groans. In their 2007 review of P.S. I Love You, USA Today opined that it hadn't exactly been a great year for the actor, with the publication asking, "What's a two-time Oscar winner to do? Get a new agent, perhaps?" Ironically, she was dating the one she had. Marie Claire stated that the star was in a relationship with John Campisi, her CAA agent. The two dated for 5 years before breaking up in 2012. Like her characters, Hilary Swank has always found a way to forge forward through life's various obstacles, and her style has consistently reflected that fact. As her film career appeared to be growing dim, the actor's wardrobe made her shine on the red carpet regardless. Sadly, it was still a little while away, as critics continued to scratch their heads over Swank's downward career trajectory. Entertainment Weekly, for instance, pointed out that the multiple award winner had basically been typecast in roles that called for scrappy women who stood up for themselves, which made them question, why would she agree to play the victim in a flashy, trashy, woman in peril flick like The Resident? In their review of the malaria flick Mary and Martha, meanwhile, IndieWire accused the film of playing more as an infomercial than a movie and chalked it up to another mistake for the double Oscar winner. Right when she was at her lowest career-wise, The Office featured a running joke in an episode which asked whether Swank was hot or not. Understandably, the star was not amused, responding in an interview with Time in 2010 and saying, "It really does a disservice. There's so much more to life than looking a certain way."
Guys, she is a beautiful movie star, so maybe we should just go to work.
She is an amazing actress.
But that's not the question.
If ever there was a good time for Hilary Swank to take some time out to recalibrate, it was in the mid-2010s. At the end of 2014, the star stepped back from her career to help care for her father, who had received a lung transplant. According to Health, the actor at first planned to take only a year off from acting, but it eventually ended up being 3 years so her dad could fully recover. In 2015, Swank told HuffPost Live that the opportunity was giving her a chance to repair their relationship, as they had lived apart from one another in her youth. She explained, "There is nothing I want to do more other than being with my dad in this time of need." Before she began turning down roles, Swank enjoyed an impressive performance in the ALS drama You're Not You. In their review of the movie, The Hollywood Reporter applauded Swank's performance and wrote that it was a reminder that few actresses suffer so movingly on screen as her. Those roles may see her at her best, but they can also be emotionally taxing. Luckily, she was able to sling off the weight of some of those roles with a cameo in Fergie's 2014 music video for LA Love, where Swank shimmy shook to the tune. While it may not be a fully accurate portrayal of living in LA, it was nice to see Swank letting loose. In an interview with The Independent, Hilary Swank admitted that she was excited to enter her 40s, as she'd observed that her female friends who were over 40 seemed to be more confident in who they were. Like her friends, she was eager to embrace her faults and the messiness that comes with life, saying, "All the things that they used to worry about just kind of fell to the wayside." This may explain her somewhat messy relationship timeline. Knowing yourself better can also mean knowing what you want from a partner too. Why compromise? In 2015, she started dating tennis pro Ruben Torres, and the two were engaged a year later. However, as reported by the Daily Mail, the engagement lasted just a few months before the couple split. Still, she moved on quickly enough. In 2018, Swank posted a joyous Instagram post of her wedding to social venture entrepreneur Philip Schneider. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the couple met after being set up on a blind date and then got engaged in 2016 while vacationing in Colorado. Professionally, Swank was also finding her feet again. She joined forces with Helena Bonham Carter to be standouts in the legal drama 55 Steps. She also came full circle in her career by starring opposite her Buffy the Vampire Slayer co-star Donald Sutherland in the Danny Boyle series Trust. For Hilary Swank's next evolution, she was able to serve a gift to her devastated younger self. According to Radar, the actor allegedly turned down a guest starring role in what's been perceived as the woefully mishandled BH 90210, a meta reboot of the classic teen soap that few seemingly wanted, and particularly not Swank. Instead, the star continued to opt for a mixed bag of performances, including a voice acting role in BoJack Horseman.
Hanging in there!
She also appeared in the sci-fi flick I Am Mother. The film itself was a quiet hit on Netflix, where it received praise from The Verge for exploring the strange bond between a robot mother and an artificially gestated child. For her part, Swank copped to not being a big sci-fi fan to Uproxx, but she regardless stepped up to the genre for the film's premiere red carpet, slicking her hair back like Ellen Ripley in Alien Resurrection. Certainly, genre films seemed to be a solid fit for the star, with the New York Times noting that her physical abilities often went underused. In 2020, controversial horror thriller The Hunt gave Swank a role wherein she enjoyed a dynamic showdown scene, requiring 7 months of training for only 7 minutes of combat screen time. There's surely a killer action role awaiting the star somewhere. Somehow, Hollywood has remained a little confused as to where and how to get the most of Hilary Swank's rare talents. In 2020, she led another quiet Netflix sci-fi vehicle, the Mars Expedition series, away, only for it to be canceled after just 1 season. Meanwhile, her turn in the low-budget erotic thriller Fatale was panned by critics. Maybe the way to move forward was for Swank to look to her past? At the end of the decade, the actor reflected on her Boys Don't Cry role by suggesting to Variety that today, the role would rightfully be open to the growing community of openly trans actors, the type of on-screen opportunity that didn't necessarily exist in Hollywood at the time of the 1999 film. Meanwhile, with the surprise success of the Karate Kid reboot series Cobra Kai, fans were eager to see Swank's Julie Pierce jump back into her double denims for the show. But was it possible? Speaking to Uproxx, the actor confessed she wasn't aware that the show existed, but found the popularity of Cobra Kai, quote, pretty fascinating. As executive producer John Hurwitz told Fandom in 2021, the team couldn't say if or how the character would or could return, but that they always welcomed the question of whether Julie ever will. Them and everyone who watches the Netflix show, too. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite award-winning actors are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.